Kia ora, my name is Sarah Washbrook and I am your host for today's video. I'm Product Development Lead at ByteEd and I've been teaching STEM and technology for over 25 years to a wide range of different schooling levels, from primary to secondary to tertiary. This video today is going to be exploring how to teach computational thinking and digital technologies to absolute beginners using our Dinosaur Steps kit from the Code Learn series. We're going to start off by exploring the different computational thinking concepts. What is computational thinking? Well, really, it's a process of thinking that students need to be able to develop in their schooling and in their lives. It helps them to develop logical thinking and critical thinking. It helps to develop problem-solving skills, and it can also help them to develop solutions to real needs and real problems and situations that they come across. The diagram that you can see on this slide shows some of the different elements of computational thinking. We have algorithmic thinking, abstraction, decomposition, logical thinking, and pattern recognition. To start, we'll have a look at algorithmic thinking. This is when you're starting to learn some of the different key concepts. And the key concepts for absolute beginners are the ones on the bullet points. They need to be able to know about sequence and putting things in logical step-by-step orders. As you can see on the example, we have an algorithm. This is a written set of instructions that are very precise, very logical, and in the correct order. They also need to know what a program is and the difference between an algorithm being written for humans by humans to be a program, so being written by humans but for a computer. And they also need to develop their problem-solving skills by spotting errors and what we call debugging, so solving the problems. All of these different concepts can be explored using the Dinosaur Steps kit. The next concept that we need to be aware of is decomposition. This is the ability of students, whether they're working on their own or in teams, to take a large problem and break it down into smaller, more manageable tasks. You can link this to everyday life, situations that the students actually go through all the time. For example, getting ready for school in the morning, making their breakfast, getting to school, coming into the classroom and setting themselves up. This is one of my examples, which is something I do frequently, which is obviously breaking down the task of making a cup of tea. What this will do is it enables the students to make problem solving a lot easier because they're focusing on a small part of it and making sure that is successful before moving on to the next. And once they've completed all the small parts, it makes a whole. Another example is by using dance. For example, you can see Explorer Ed in the GIF. Students can have a look at the GIF and look at the dancing Ed and see if they can break down the tasks, the actions that Ed is doing. The next concept that we're going to have a look at is pattern recognition. This is the ability to be able to spot patterns in code and be able to create more effective and efficient algorithms and programs. If we can spot repeated patterns, it enables them to identify errors as well and where things have gone wrong. It also means that they can actually copy successful pieces of code and reuse them. When they're just starting off, students need to be able to develop these pattern recognition skills. And on the screen, you can see there are lots and lots of different examples. All of these examples are actually available in our teaching resources that are online. Abstraction is the ability to focus on different parts of the problem, which are the most important. What are the things that are definitely and necessarily needed? And they become able to ignore the unimportant aspects. One example of this is being able to identify key attributes of characters or animals or products that are out there that they can recognize and think about the similarities. So in this activity here, you can see they can look at different types of dinosaurs from the Dinosaur Steps kit, and they can try and identify what a dinosaur is. What is the same about all of these dinosaurs? What's different? What could you ignore to be able to come up with an explanation of what a dinosaur is? So this is an example of using abstraction. Another example is the visual one we have on the right there, where we're looking at the map. The map at the top was one of the original underground tube maps for London. And so what's now happened is we've actually removed all the unnecessary information, things like bridges and roads and parks and houses and places of special interest. And it's become much more simplified. So it is an abstract form. So as you can see, the difference between the two is it's much more simpler to use, but it's much more effective for the user as well. The last concept we're going to have a look at with this aspect of computational thinking is logical thinking. And this is something that needs to be developed early on because it is something that is used all the time, no matter what area of computational thinking they are working in. Logical thinking obviously helps to support solving problems, thinking critically, thinking outside the box a little bit, making them think about different answers that aren't necessarily obvious, and also developing order and sequence. There are lots of different ways, once again, to develop these skills, but here are just some other examples. So being able to use things like noughts and crosses or tic-tac-toe and playing strategic games. Using jigsaws in the classroom. For example, we have a jigsaw in the Dinosaur Steps kit, and they have to be able to put it together in the right order and connect it using pattern recognition. So can they actually put that together in the correct order? And can they debug it if they come up with a problem as well? So we're linking to algorithmic thinking too. Finding the fastest way through a maze is another way of using logical thinking, and I'm sure you can think of other activities that can develop these sets of skills too. So what are the absolute basics that the students need when they are just starting out in computational thinking? So for them to be able to use the Dinosaur Steps kit and to create their own algorithms, we suggest that they have a background knowledge or a prior knowledge in these key areas. The first one is the ability to be able to follow a logical path. So they need to be able to plot a path, follow it, and reroute a pathway if there is an obstacle or a mistake. Once again, we have lots of different examples of how you can actually develop the following a path. And these are all available in our teaching modules and in our resources online. The next aspect that students need to know is obviously number and being able to count up in sequence. Number is very important for being able to write algorithms and do programming. In fact, numeracy is woven all the way through programming and computer science. Once again, we have lots of resources to help you. So we have lots of hands-on activities, and we've also developed some ebooks as well, which help to develop the counting aspect. So bringing in number as well through literacy. Students also need to know their left and right. And I know from being in the classroom myself that this is a key area that many students, no matter if they're year 3 or 4 or aged 3 or 4, they all smell, many of them still struggle with the concept of left and right. So we've come up with some different ideas to actually help to develop that understanding of left and right, because students, when they are learning to write their algorithms with Dinosaur Steps, they will need to know moving left and moving right. And as they work up through the kits, they need to know about turning left and turning to the right. So this is a fundamental part. The next thing they need to know is they need to build their technological literacy and develop their understanding of commands and the commands we use when writing algorithms and giving algorithms as instructions. The key commands that the students will need in the Dinosaur Steps kit are the ones that you can see on the screen now. So they will need to know start and finish, or start and stop. They also need to know run, which is the symbol there you can see with the red triangle in the target shape. And that could mean run, play, execute, return, those kinds of things which you actually can link to computers in computer science. The other things that we can do is we can play lots of active games like What's the Time, Chompy, and Explorer Ed Says. You probably recognize some of those ones as a twist, but that's bringing in directional skills as well. So up or forward, down or back, right or left. And then obviously we can get the students to give instructions to move through mazes and use maze games to actually help to develop those commands and being able to give and have other people follow the commands too. We can also bring all of these different skills together, and there are lots and lots of different ways to do that. This is one logic puzzle that you can actually use, which brings in right, left, number, and being able to count and being able to identify. I'll let you see if you can figure out. It's quite a long one, this one, for adults. See if you can figure out, if you start at the top left, to where the green square is, where would you end up if you followed the code, followed the instructions? What path would you take through this grid? And which dinosaur would you end up at? You may want to pause the video to try and do this one, because it might take a little bit longer than you think. Other activities you can do are things like kid bots. And so that's actually getting students to walk around on a grid and giving them places to walk to. And you can have other students using instructions to tell their partner where to walk to. So saying forward, forward, left, right, and giving them maybe obstacles to avoid, or giving them things to collect as they go round. Hopefully you've had time to figure out the logic puzzle. Let's see if you got the right answer. So you would end up, if you followed the logic puzzle here, at Chompy the T-Rex. So what have we done at ByteEd to help to support you with these basic instructions and concepts that you need to be able to give to your students? Well, we've actually created lots of teaching resources for you online that you can access. We've developed a couple of ebooks which will actually introduce one, literacy. So we're introducing through storytelling the concepts of algorithms and getting the students to be able to follow the instructions. You can print these as big readers if you wish to, or you can display them obviously digitally in your classroom. It is entirely up to you. Now, not only do these actually help to explore algorithmic thinking, they also go through counting and numeracy as well. So there are two different stories that we've got for you, taking Explorer Ed on a journey. The other resource that we have for you is we've created these ECE or absolute beginners to coding. Obviously, if you're in a classroom where you're teaching older students, you may have to differentiate some of the activities in the teaching module, or you may have to differentiate for diverse learning needs. So some of these activities can actually help your learners that need some extra help and extra to support to understand some of the concepts too. So these can be used for anybody really that needs the help and support. What we have is we have these teaching slides with lots and lots of different activities, and they directly link to the flashcards, the visual instruction cards that are in the Dinosaur Steps kit. So you can see there's lots of different activities there to help to develop the different concepts. And it is always explained which concepts in computational thinking that these are helping to support. Alongside these, you can see in the top right there are lots and lots of handouts and printables made for you just to download and print with your students. Within the kit itself, there are obviously other areas and resources that can support too. I've already mentioned the visual instructional cards. So those are received with the students that aren't able to read yet. And what they can do is they can use just visual diagrammatical flashcards there to actually be able to work through the use of the kit once they have got those understanding of commands, direction, number, and following a path. They do need those first. The other thing they can go into is there are lots of differentiated challenges for the different students too. So in the kit itself, you've got a set of Chompy's challenges. The challenges at the very beginning are the easiest ones, and they get harder and harder as they go through the booklet too. And also on the online app, you have 3 tiers of challenges. And obviously the beginner ones are the first ones, and they are much more simpler to complete than the ones as they get progressed through the app as well in the challenges. If you have some students who are progressing on a little bit further and would like some more help and want a little bit more technical knowledge, in the booklet as well, there's always a QR code which you can scan, and it comes up as a reader for the students too. So they may not be able to read the actual page, but they can scan the QR code in the top of the booklet, and what that will do is it will return into an e-reader for them too. When you're ready to move on, there are other resources online for you as well. We have got lots and lots of different resources through the website pages that we have linking to Dinosaur Steps. There, if you want to explore other concepts or a particular concept, say like debugging, then there are more activities that you can take and use in your classroom or in your situation. There are also lots of ideas for integrating computational thinking and digital technologies into other subjects as well. And that's what you see some of the examples in the top left there. We've also got a teaching module that's available online, which is obviously for your years, probably 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even going up. They are fully differentiated. Obviously, you as a teacher will need to be selective about what you teach and how you teach it, but there is lots of information there for you, from all the planning to the handouts and to the presentation slides for the teachers too. And we've also got computational thinking activity challenge cards for those students who are well versed in this and can push themselves a little bit further. So on behalf of ByteEd, we just want to say thank you very much for taking part or coming along and listening to this video tutorial. There are other video tutorials out there as well for you to help you with the Dinosaur Steps kit and the teaching of it. Please stay in touch if you would like any further support. Our email is just there on the left, or please head to our website. We are also on all social media, so feel free to keep in touch and let us know what you think. Kia kite.